Welcome back to JJW Outdoors. Justin here. Today, I am going to teach you something about birch bark right there. Alright, so as you can see here, I have a birch piece of a tree right here. And what I want to show you is it's actually rotting. Let me show you. There is a hole inside of there, and look at this. Literally, it is gone on the inside. There's nothing on the inside. So birch bark actually rots from the inside out. So if you see a big giant birch tree anywhere in your yard or whatnot, beware if it's dead, because it could just rot from the inside out and fall randomly. But this is actually pretty neat for us bushcrafters or people who like to start a fire because of two reasons. Here's one. The birch on the outside is still good. There's your first reason. The second reason is it is actually waterproof. And I will show you that here in just a minute. Like I just said, birch bark rots from the inside out. And it's waterproof. So you see that pinky color, if you can. That pinky color is actually resin. And that's what we're looking for, is you want the resin. Now you don't have to have the resin, which I'll show you that in just a second. But the resin is better for starting a fire when it's soaking wet. So it actually rained here quite a bit while we were gone. But anyways, this is soaking wet. What you want to do is you want to take your knife and you actually want to scrape the pinky stuff into a powder, just like this. And when doing that, you're gonna make it super fine shavings. Now you can use the back of your knife if your knife is a 90-degree spine, like mine is. But using the blade and scraping it like this will work just fine. So Alright, we need to talk for a second. Now, I just explained that using the front of your blade is almost better than using the back of the blade. No, I lied. You actually want to use the 90-degree spine of your knife, if you have it, because you prolong your knife's edge retention that way. Therefore, if you use the front or tip of your knife all the time, you're going to dull it way faster than using the back of your knife. So I highly recommend, if your knife has that, use the 90-degree spine on the back of your knife. You can see there, I actually have a pile going. So I actually have a pile going right there, and you can see it's a pinky color. A lot like that. So that's what you want to start a fire with. Now, I'm going to show you what it looks like using a lighter. So like I said, you don't have to just have that. But if you have the lighter, it will actually burn right away, just like this. And it will continue to burn until it's gone. Almost like a candle does. But you hear all the popping? That is actually water coming off of that. And it will continue to burn just like that for a long time until it's gone. So what's cool about that is, once you get your pile going, you can just get your ferro rod and just strike it. And it will come up, I mean, it'll just start a fire right away. It's amazing. Birch bark is by far my favorite way to start a fire. But I mainly just wanted to show you this. I wanted to show you that birch bark actually rots from the inside out. And all this outer birch is really good stuff to use for a fire still. So once you got a good sized pile going, you want to make strips, kind of like this. So let's just say you do not have enough birch bark to do this. What you want to do is get either your tinder bundle, or maybe you found some bark with the inner layers that you made a tinder bundle out of. whatever other material you have is what you want to put on next to combust that to make a bigger flame and dry out the rest of your wood. Just keep in mind, you do not need tons of birch bark to get a fire started. I had this birch bark available to me to use, so I just want to show you just what birch bark can do alone. But make sure in an emergency situation especially, or even when you're out in the woods, gather up some material that you can use to start a fire and practice with it. Start off with a birch bark, add your other material on top of that, then put some smaller sticks, then put your bigger sticks on top of that. So make sure you just have fun, play around with it a little bit, but be careful because it is fire. The reason why you want strips is because once this starts burning, you want to throw some strips on top and it will get that going, and then you want to throw your wood right on top of that. Or in our case, we're going to throw this thing right on top of it. And we're going to watch and see how the birch bark actually goes up in flames. So another really cool thing about birch bark is once you have a pile going like this and a little bit going on top of that, it'll give you 5 to 10 minutes of burn time letting your other wood dry out because it's a waterproofing material. Alright, now that we've got a pile going, let's actually start a fire with it. Now that we have our materials, I'm going to show you that you don't need a lot of sticks and you don't need a big pile to get this going right away if you have enough birch bark. We're actually going to throw these bigger pieces on right away like this, and these should get your fire going pretty much right away. So we're going to start off with the little curls, and we're going to put our bigger shavings on top, and then I'm going to throw this big old hollow piece right on top of that, and then I'm going to throw little sticks on top of that, and we're going to get going with the fire. So I'm going to take some flint, I'm going to scrape it a little bit. Ooh, almost had it. There we go. Once you get one good burst, you can see it burns for a little bit. So you do have a couple seconds to put some actual tinder on before it goes out. As you can see then, you can hear it popping, like I mentioned earlier. That is drying the rest of it out and burning the actual resins. Now once it gets going like this, you just want to take your big chunk, and we're just going to throw this guy right on top like that. And that's just going to, that's just going to start burning. So this is all birch bark burning right now. That is it. Now that your birch bark is going, we're going to get our kind of smaller twigs going on first. Now, if this is an emergency situation, I recommend getting 3 times the amount of sticks. But I'm just showing you that it can be done with these few sticks, if you have a lot of birch bark. Birch bark is just amazing. Now, you're going to hear a lot of popping, a lot of sizzling, because my sticks are drying out. Now, since I have more birch bark, I'm going to rip some shavings. So, since I have some birch bark, I'm actually going to rip some more shavings. And I'm going to throw some shavings down inside, on top, and those are going to catch next. You see how much smoke is coming off this fire? It's mainly because it's drying out. And now we just gotta let it burn for a minute. Yeah, I guess just keep it going.
Okay. You did that twice.
Yeah, I don't get it. I wouldn't sit there. I'll put this away before I lose it, like the last one. So it is dark right now, so I gotta use the light. But as you can see our fire right now, it is going and it's real hot. Okay, camera shows me. So another really cool fact about birch bark is it actually burns a lot hotter than other stuff, which makes it extra special and extra unique for starting a fire. So I'm telling you, if you have birch bark out in your woods, make sure you collect a little bit. Now, tearing the strips off of the tree isn't gonna hurt the tree if you do it that way, but if you can find a dead tree laying in the ground like I did, you just rip off a big chunk of it, bring it back with you, and you can get a fire going just how I did right here. Alright, so you're not going to be able to see me great with the firelight, sadly, so I'm going to have to do this. Sorry about that. But I hope you enjoyed this video and hope you learned something. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, because I have awesome, cool tips and tricks how to start a fire just like this. And don't forget, go check out some of my old videos on starting a fire a few different ways. Found fat wood, found other ways how to start a fire, and show you how to do it on my YouTube channel. So make sure you go check that out. Thanks so much for watching again. I'll see you on the next one.